As we all know, Majin Buu has the ability to absorb people. And when he does, he takes on some of their traits and their personality. And because of this, through the series, Majin Buu has taken on several different forms, some of which could almost be considered completely separate individual beings. Kid Buu, this is Buu's original form and his most dangerous form. Kid Buu is a maniac in every sense of the word, completely devoid of any rational thought and impossible to reason with. He exists to destroy, and he destroys to destroy. He's irrational. His spontaneous thought process makes him impossible to predict, and he is free of any restraint and has no trace of sanity, making him extremely volatile. His personality is very similar to that of a very young, spoiled, selfish child, in that he retains no form of compassion or remorse for any of his actions. Furthermore, due to his personality, his capricious personality and selfish personality and mindset, he is incapable of developing empathy and comprehending the nature of his actions, and virtually impossible even for Bibity to control. This is the form that he was in when he first attacked 5 Kai Universe 7, and this is the form that he reverted back to after he lost all of the individuals that he had absorbed as Super Buu, just before Goku defeated him. Huge Buu is still technically Kid Buu, but this is the form that he takes after absorbing the Southern Supreme Kai. Now, as a result, when Buu absorbed him, he turned into this massive, hulking, muscular form and gained a massive power increase while retaining the mentality that he had in his normal Kid Buu form. Innocent Buu. This is the first form that we see, the form that emerged after being awakened by Babidi. Buu took this form after absorbing the Grand Supreme Kai, and while he is significantly more powerful than Kid Buu is, he's nowhere near as dangerous. Now, in this form, Buu does retain that childish mindset that caused him to be almost oblivious to the repercussions of his actions. However, he could be controlled by something as simple as a promise of cake. Now, to innocent Buu, the killing, all the destruction was little more than a game. However, that sliver of good, that sliver of innocence that he had gained by absorbing the Grand Supreme Kai, allowed him to feel pain and compassion. After Goku manipulated him into killing Babidi, he went on a rampage, destroying cities, killing people, and this is when he was treated with kindness for the first time from a small blind boy named Tommy. Now, after this encounter, he calmed down and went and built a house. The world appeared to be saved. He became friends with Mr. Satan, and then some asshole thought it would be a good idea to shoot Mr. Satan in the chest. Buu didn't like that. He lost control of his anger and split into two separate beings, Good Buu and Evil Buu. So Good Buu is the result of innocent Buu separating his good and evil into two different halves, into two different beings, and this version of Buu is pure good. He's kind, caring, and playful. He looks exactly the same as innocent Buu does, but he's significantly weaker than innocent Buu was, as he is only technically half of Buu, but most of the power did go to Evil Buu. And he also lost some of his abilities, including the ability to absorb others with his body. Instead, now, to absorb people, he would have to turn them into chocolate and then eat them. Now, he was not around for very long during his first appearance, as the evil half managed to overpower and reabsorb him pretty quickly. That created Super Buu. Now, later, though, Vegeta does manage to free him from Super Buu, and then after Buu is defeated, Good Buu moves in with Mr. Satan and becomes a friend and ally of the other characters in the series, but he does still have a very short temper. He's still a selfish asshole at times, but these negative traits are not caused by any sort of evil. They're the result of him being an idiot, to be honest, to be blunt. It's his childish nature. He's still got the mentality of a child. Now, Evil Buu is the other being that Innocent Buu separated into. The being that is formed from pure evil. The evil expelled by Innocent Buu. Now, once he appears, he immediately killed the guy that shot Mr. Satan and then attacked Good Buu. Now, since Evil Buu is considered the embodiment of Buu's concentrated wrath, he's far stronger than Good Buu. And because of this, he was able to easily overpower Good Buu. Now, during their battle, Good Buu gets turned into chocolate and Evil Buu eats him. And then this causes them to turn into Super Buu. Super Buu is the result of Evil Buu eating Good Buu. Now, Super Buu has attained a level of power and intelligence far beyond that of any of the other previous versions. Although, even with his increased power, Kid Buu is still the greatest threat of all the Buus, since the different personalities of the characters Super Buu absorbed prevent him from being the mindless killing machine that Kid Buu was. His appearance is very similar to Kid Buu, but he's more muscular, his muscles are more defined, and he's significantly taller than all the other Buu forms. Actually, he's taller than all the other characters in the series, I think. And fully capable of somewhat rational thought. However, He has very little patience and is extremely dangerous when he has this fits of anger, when he freaks out, even possessing the power to rip through dimensional walls. Now, during his battle with Gotenks, the fusion ended, so Boo was going to wait to fight the strong guy, and he fell asleep, and then Gohan arrived. Now, this is after Gohan was having his powers unlocked the old guy, so he was Ultimate Gohan, and he beat the dog shit out of Super Boo. It was ugly. So Super Boo had the idea to ask if he could fight Gotenks, and when they agreed to do that, what he did is he used part of his body to absorb both Gotenks and Piccolo. Boo Tanks. This is the first form that Boo takes after absorbing both Piccolo and Gotenks. His physical appearance stays pretty much the same as it was. However, he's wearing a vest like Gotenks and like Gogeta wear. And in this form, he was easily able to overpower Ultimate Gohan. And he did so using the attacks of the people he had absorbed, like the Galactic Donut and the Special Beam Cannon. But not all of it. Just a lot of it, though, because, that obviously... Now, he lost this form pretty quick, right after Goku had arrived, because the fusion between Goten and Trunks ended. So he lost that power. After the fusion with them ended, he lost the power, and he reverted to a form that was wearing clothing similar to like what Piccolo wears, that white. Now, when Goku had first shown up, he had threw a Destructo Disc at Boo, cutting him in half and cutting off part of his head tentacle, and when he did that, Boo didn't reattach it. So he used that part of his head tentacle to absorb Gohan, becoming Boo's most powerful form, Buuhan. Now, Buuhan is the result of his absorption of Gohan, and at this point, he had absorbed the Southern Supreme Kai, the Grand Supreme Kai, Good Boo, Goten, Trunks, Piccolo, and Gohan, and had their strength and abilities. After taking this form as a Tama Goku, Buuhan tells Goku he could use whoever he wants to. But the only three people that were there were Dende, Mr. Satan, and Tien. Now, Tien was unconscious, thanks to Boo. Dende could not fuse because they needed him to be unfused to utilize the Dragon Balls. So the only option he had left was Mr. Satan, and that actually almost happened. I'm glad it didn't, but it almost happened until Vegeta showed up. Thank God. In this form, Boo's power is on another level than the previous forms. Any of the previous characters, actually. And he was able to battle Goku and Vegeta at the exact same time with little effort until Goku and Vegeta used the Potara to become Vegito, and we all know how that played out. His power was at a level that Buuhan could never even approach. Vegito toyed with him the entire time. He turned Vegito into candy, and the candy was still able to beat Buuhan up. He did manage to absorb Vegito, but it did not go very well. It didn't really work out for him that well, because while Vegito was inside of him... that sounds horrible. While Vegito was inside of him, he did not become a part of him. And this also ended the Potara fusion for some reason. The permanent Potara fusion, or whatever. And then Buuhan lost his Buuhan form pretty quick, thanks to Goku and Vegeta being able to free out the characters that he had absorbed previously, forcing Boo back into his Kid Boo. At the end of the day, Goku killed Kid Boo, Good Boo remained, and 10 years later, Goku goes to a tournament and meets Boo's next form, the reincarnation Oob. Now, as he was defeating Kid Boo, Goku said that he had hoped that one day Boo would come back as a good guy so they could spar or something to that effect, and he did. He was reincarnated as a human being known as Oob. Now, Oob was unaware of who he was. He was unaware of the power that lied dormant within him. But he did know that his people were suffering and that they were starving and there was no water, and he had the desire to save them. So in order to earn money to help his people, he joined the World Martial Arts Tournament, where he found himself squaring off against Goku in one of the matches. Now, Goku was well aware of who he was, and in an attempt to unlock his power, Goku spent most of the match mocking him and making threats towards his people, and as the fight progressed, Oob's anger grew, and as his anger grew, little by little the power that he had inherited from Boo began to show itself. And within a pretty short span of time, Oob was almost fighting equally with Goku. And once the match was over with, though, Goku explained what was happening, who he was, who Oob was, and all that good stuff, and they decided to go off and train somewhere together. They flew off. Up next, though, we have Dragon Ball GT, and no, I'm not talking about it. Maybe I'll get back to it later, but it's not canon, so it's kind of irrelevant, I guess, right? Anyways, I guess that means that this is all I've got for you guys in this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Subscriptions are awesome. It's a big help. I'd appreciate it. But in the meantime, I'll see you guys next time.